Hello and welcome to the ZLTAC 2026 prediction video. This year, we're heading to Auckland, New Zealand. Nationals is coming up very quickly, and this year we're doing our predictions a little bit differently. We have caught up with a player from each team to hear how they are feeling heading into ZLTAC 2026. Each team was asked a series of questions and then they placed their final prediction. All 24 predictions were then combined to make this final list. Here we go.
I'm Bubbles.
Commander Snake.
Crouchy.
Gaza.
Gustus. Four Eyes.
Master Mode.
Moldy.
Exile.
Hey, I'm Cotton.
Ninja.
Finn.
Dorky.
Sega.
Dinky.
My name's Azran.
I am Firebird.
Tracer.
Tagora.
I'm Wolfie.
Volley.
My name's Zam.
Hi, I'm Typhon, and I'm from the Spartans.
Alright, to kick off the predictions, I'm going to start in 24th place and work my way through to first. Each team has received a specific amount of points based on where others predicted them. The lower teams will have more points and the higher teams will have less points. Consider this like a game of golf. Starting off this list in 24th place with a total of 508 prediction points is Flatline. On Flatline this year we have Zero, Bubbles, Tricky, Ghibli, Tinkerbell, and Infused Jr. Flatline is a mixed team made up of 3 Northern Territory, 1 Queensland, and 2 New Zealand players. I had a chat with Bubbles to ask him a few questions. This is what he had to say.
Well, I'm going because I love laser tag. I forced Tricky to come along as a team. I don't know, we're just going to have fun. We're going to do our best and see where we go. Honestly, probably either Outcast or Tsunami are probably going to be our pairs. Not me, I'm too expensive. I don't know, Tricky's usually a pretty good pick. He's not usually expensive, but he does manage to pull out some good games. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go Tricky. Tricky's going to be my pick for the team. Well, yeah, it seems like it's hold your base until the last half of the game. Do a couple of pokes and prods here and there. Like early bases are going to be handy because games just seem to be devolving into a dump fest at the end, and whoever can get those early bases is going to be in the lead. And once you get your bases done, you can just sit there and defend out the other teams.
Predicted in 23rd place this year, with a total of 495 prediction points, is Tsunami. On the team this year, we have Dorky, Gripsy, Shania Renee 7, the BMW, Drake, and the late addition of Master Guardian. This is a team of mostly WA players, so I caught up with Dorky for a better insight into the team.
Yeah, look, the cheeky response, a few wins would be nice. For us, we've got a few newer players. We've got a few older players. We just like playing together. It should be, just good, fun event. Enjoy the company, like our laser tag, and a few Ws would be nice. Look, it'd be nice to get into the teens. I think that'd be kind of cool, but I'm not going to be disappointed if we're not. Drake, the BMW, and Master Guardian is good for fantasy because he plays in all the events, right? He has a very good run in many things, and because they're quite capable players playing in a lower ranked team, I think they'll have an opportunity to pop off in a way that they might not ordinarily.
Predicted in 22nd place this year with a total of 484 prediction points is Outcast. This team includes Guerrero, My Suit Is My S, Trady, Bron FTW, and Glitch. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a hold of any of the Outcast players for this video, but I am very keen to see how this team brings themselves together for New Zealand. They have enough experience on the team to avoid the wooden spoon, and I believe they will be able to cause some early upsets. Our 21st place prediction this year, with a total of 415 prediction points, is Kelpies. On this team we have Lycan, Four Eyes, Tink, Obscurus, Nivier, Sauron, and Wildcard. Kelpies has always been a bit of a mixed team. The team this year includes players from New Zealand, ACT, and New South Wales. I caught up with Four Eyes for some insights.
I think, especially in the lead up to like Ascension Day or Finals Day, I guess, I think we're going to try and switch it into second gear. But for the majority of the comp, I think we're all there for a good time. Just try and, for the newer players that are looking to stick around a bit more, like Tank, Nivier as well, hopefully they get a little bit out of it in terms of learning some new things and playing against different people from all over Australia and New Zealand. But for the old heads like myself, Lycan, and Sauron, I think we're just going for a good time. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be Outcasts. We're gonna see them a lot. So what I'm hoping, just personally, is I hope that our team can push them to do well, and then hopefully they light a fire under our butts, I guess, and just hopefully get the best out of us. Hopefully 23rd or better, man. 4 eyes, 9 toes, no spoons so far. So I'm hoping to keep that tradition going. Yeah, man. Honestly, I'll just be happy wherever we're placed. I would like to stay out of spoon position, but it is what it is, man. You know, it all comes down to who plays better on the day. You know.
Moving into the top 20, our next prediction with a total of 390 prediction points is Kitsune. On this team we have Finn, Arden, Redunculus, Fully Clothed and Chaos. Kitsune has been a team in recent years that tends to carry a good mix of experienced and inexperienced players. Led by Finn from the ACT, I had a chat with him to chat more about this year.
Obviously perform. We beat out Crows for the B team spot last year, so we're pretty stoked about that. So we obviously want to do it again. In general, just general learning experience, watching like the players grow from going from like just state comps to nationals, because there's always such a big like jump. And then for the newer people, I want to see how well they, I guess, hold up. And then for like Chaos, at least see how zone format goes with them, because I don't know how much they play it there in New Zealand, or at least they're 50-50 from what I know. I want to say probably 1 to 2 of the New Zealand teams. Like my bet is either Raptors, Outcast, maybe Kraken, because I feel like they're potentially higher than us. They look like they were doing well. I want to see Nebula a bunch. I feel like that's almost an equivalent of my team, but WA. They're probably better. Like they've got more depth across their team. And then Ninja's team, Wasted Potential. I reckon them. Or at least I want to play against Ninja a bunch. 13th to 14th, like one of those two spots seems the most doable in terms of if we got like best we could. Maybe a few spots down. Let's say like 16th is my more realistic expectation. I mean, realistically, it might be me. I'm gonna gas myself up on that one. Put someone who's played on the pointy end in the low end. You're gonna be farming a bit. Other than me, probably Chaos. I reckon he's just gonna, or at least from what I've heard, he should be pretty good. And if we're gonna drop him into a tier that gets to boost that a bit more, might be worth it. Especially because he might be an unknown, at least for the fantasy calculation stuff. So in the end, he might end up being a pretty good pick.
Predicted in 19th place this year on 381 prediction points is the Raptors. This team consists of Trader, Insomnia, Dika, Zygorizer and Grootey. The Raptors is a full New Zealand team. They do lack a bit of experience in the higher end of the competition, but they are playing as close to home as they can. I would not be surprised if the Raptors end up a little higher. I had a chat with Traitor to answer some questions.
This year, honestly, I feel like we're coming in trying to get as much experience out of it as possible. So in Dunedin, we're not really playing as many team games at the moment. So anything big like this is just going to be absolutely massive for us and ideally our scene, honestly. Well, personally, I'm aiming for anything that's like sub 20, higher than 20th place, honestly. I think we're pretty confident that we'll avoid the spoon game. And I think everyone will be just happy if we're out of that, essentially. I want to try to have a little bit higher hopes for us than that, so we'll see.
Predicted in 18th place with a total of 377 prediction points is Surge. On this team we have Gaza, Sawdust, Noobs 316, Tech Deck 205 and Jet. This is a slightly softer Surge lineup than we have seen in the past, so I had a chat with Gaza to find out a little bit more.
We've been on a very improvement-based mindset for the last couple of years, and probably for the next few. I'm a big believer that we're never going to win an away Nats while we can't practice playing grand final level games at home. We're just never going to beat Queensland in a grand final, and it's happened to Sharks a bunch where they can make the grand final and come third because they just get outclassed in a golden game or in a grand final series. I've been picking up players that I think maybe 3 years from now you'll be a grand final level player, and just trying to train them up and do that sort of thing, which is part of the reason why we split Surge in half from last year. Commander Snake and Bro Dizzle went off to make their own team with another bunch of players that fit that description. We don't really care where we're placing. We're not going into Nats we have to come top 10 or anything like that. It's more about that growth mindset. I think if we come 10th, we've done quite well. If we come 15th, that's I feel like that's probably about where we'll come. Yeah, I like to keep my expectations low because then I'm never disappointed. I think it really depends on what your arena's average base count is like. Because if it's quite small, then it favors the everybody just does 1-4 and no one's dropping their base, sort of thing. And if they're even harder to crack, then dumping to a base is even rougher, because you spend a lot of points trying to get in. I don't know. I always try and play for a higher base game because I think it's more fun. Because personally, I'm not a huge fan of everybody just stands around for 9 minutes playing solos. I think the dopamine comes from taking the bases. I have no idea, to be honest. I always do weird stuff anyway, so.
Landing in 17th place this year is another WA team. With a total of 375 prediction points, we have Nebula. On this team, we have Commander Snake, Basilisk, Bro Dizzle, Muffin, and Serenity. After making the move from Surge, I had a chat with Commander Snake to ask a few questions.
Yeah, running with a squad of 5, it's kind of a case of we just want to get max experience in. We're not super here to maximize our winning as much as we are to maximize our learning. My kind of philosophy is if you're not bringing a team that's good enough to win Nats, you're kind of there to progress towards winning a Nats. So I don't care if we come 10th compared to 13th. It's all about getting as many games in and just trying to slam it. If we're going to play some games with 4, so be it. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if we're bashing our heads against Surge, the other WA team. I think while I would hope on zone we're above them, at home we're very much bashing our heads against each other. Maybe a couple of the Canberra teams, possibly Crows or Kitsune. They may be similar in the standings. So yeah. I think there's a decent chance that Brodizal could be. He's already taken a couple of jumps and been quite good, but I don't think that's been reflected as much in the stats as it could be. Looking at the stats, he may get underpriced for what he can do this year. And yeah, otherwise, I think Muffin as well could be a pretty decent value pick. He could do pretty well, and I think he'll be relatively cheap. Look, I feel like an obvious kind of call is Finn. I think he'll be smurfing a bit, and he'll have, he'll still have a good time with the team he's on. A lot of people may be surprised by how good Noobs is this year. Sydney comp recently, he took a bit of a step. That was the first zone comp he's done reasonably well at. And yeah, I reckon he can bring some of that to Nats and keep showing that.
In 16th place with a total of 370 prediction points is the Antagonists. On this team we have Pendragon, Wolfie, Panicking, Mikey, Moo and The Wall. The antagonists have a large amount of experience on their team compared to the other teams in this part of the ladder. I pulled in Wolfie to have a quick chat.
Look, looking at these rosters, there's been a little bit of a change this year for many teams, but I reckon we're going to see Crows the most, probably. Other than that, I think we might see a fair bit of Spectre as well. Archangels are definitely better than us, but they're still in our striking range. Whereas on the other end, I expect we'll beat Surge, but we should be careful. We should be comfortably in the middle. I think we can get a little bit higher than like flat middle, but comfortably middle.
Predicted to finish in 15th place this year with a total of 317 prediction points is Wasted Potential. On this team we have Ninja, Exile, SSG, Big Chungo, Slime and Phoenix Z. This team is led by Ninja and Exile. They have the support of SSG and are bringing in 3 newer players into the national scene. I got to chat with both Ninja and Exile about their team this year.
For me personally, especially with being on this like so-called development team with the new players, is just to give them as much experience to the national scene as possible. Obviously, with a captain like Ninja, I feel like that is going to help us out dramatically in terms of strategic and also teaching the kids how to play.
Basically, this is a development team, but yeah, excited to see how the rookies develop, and I think that will probably decide on where we end up placing in the middle of the ladder or at the end of the ladder, wherever that be.
I feel like we'll be hovering around Surge and Crows again. Typical, I'm bringing down the Aces, traditional thing where we verse Crows and Surge a buttload of times. And I feel like this is going to be the same with this team.
Yeah, me and Finn have been making jokes probably for the last year or so since Canberra, essentially saying that we're probably seeing each other a lot on the ladder and in games. But then I think we're also the other Adelaide team, we potentially could be around a lot depending how they perform and how we perform.
I honestly feel like we could probably be like 10 to 15 maybe. That's putting probably a lot of pressure on the little ones, but I mean, they have it in them. They're definitely developing.
Going on Jimmy, yeah, I think 10 to 15 if it's possible. It's a long competition. There's lots, like you said, in the middle tier, there's lots of teams that can take games off each other.
As we close in on the top half of the competition, on a total of 312 prediction points, we have the Crows. This year on Crows, we have Nickel, Azarin, Garn, Garnet, Angel, and Clams. This is our first full ACT team. A lot of teams are focusing on development this year, and the Crows are no different. Let's see what Azarin has to say.
Yeah, so I think for the most part, we're just hoping to sort of beat Kitsune is definitely one of our main goals. Having Crows lost to them last year after definitely not supposed to, but otherwise definitely trying to just have fun, sort of develop our 2 newer players in Clams and Garnet, while sort of giving myself and Nickel especially the opportunity to widen our skill sets and broaden our horizons, I guess. I think that anything in the sort of top half we'd be pretty happy with. I think that if we can sort of be that top end of the sort of weaker teams or bottom end of the good teams, we'd be happy. If somehow we can crack top 10, I think that would be pretty crazy, but that's definitely, I think, sort of the goal we're aiming for. Definitely think it'll be interesting with all 3 bases being relatively similar, but I suspect that, yeah, we'll definitely still see a lot of late dumps, especially lower down in the rankings. I think that more and more teams, not just the sort of top few teams and not just Queensland teams, are definitely picking it up and practicing it. So I think it'll be a lot of that and a lot of responding to that.
Landing in 13th place for this prediction with a total of 304 prediction points, we have Atlas. This team consists of Master Mopar, Orkrai, Kit, Hendo, Rat, and Blitz. This is the first of our Queensland teams. With a great mix of ages and abilities, this team could place anywhere. I managed to get a hold of Master Mopar and got him to answer these questions.
Myself, I'm trying to get at least around the top 15, trying to encourage these guys to enjoy their nationals. Really, that's the main part that I've learned over the years, is that just trying to create a good team environment when we're at Nats and back home at the Econ, relaxing and going over, e.g. set games for the day. Probably Rat. If I can get him into the right role, we've spent a bit of time trying to gel over the last 6 months, or the last 3 months actually. But Hendo could be another one, depending on how I play him after the first day or so, once we work out what we're doing in the arena. Pug, I'd have to say Pug would be up there. Sager's going to have a good Nats. I think after playing Pro again for this year, or last year, and him getting around the fact that it's not all gun hits, it's just hit the packs wherever you can shoot with lights. But yeah, Pug, I think Pug would be the one. He's going to be the one. He seems to be on par here. Like every time you're near him in the arena, you just walk away. You just can't shoot him.
Officially cracking into the top half of the competition, predicted in 12th place with a total of 241 prediction points, is Spectre. This team is led by Volley. They also have Weston, Dirtbag, Big Red, Benbow, and Shaz. With a focus on sharing knowledge and experience with his team, I had a chat with Volley to find out more.
I'm focusing on like trying to help develop the kids. Like their first Nats, they didn't really have anyone with like any sort of experience on the team to give them any sort of leadership or guidance or anything like that. It was just like a bunch of kids all thrown on a team together and left to fend for themselves. I mean, you can get away with it a little bit because, you know, Queensland and also home side. So I think the kids could learn a lot with a bit of guidance between myself and Brad's experience, obviously. But like, I reckon all of those kids have got potential. They've got good heads on their shoulders. My goal's to make them good. Yeah, I think we're capable of managing like in the vicinity of 10th. But that being said, my focus isn't placement for the team this year. My focus is on development. So I have realistically no expectations of where we're going to finish. And I don't care if we finish 6th. I don't care if we finish 22nd. My goal is to see improvement out of the kids. That's all that matters for me for New Zealand.
Moving into 11th place with a total of 235 prediction points, we believe it will go to Kraken. On this team we have Tagora, Sheru, Rogue, Dari, Arcane, and Arrow. This is another New Zealand team that knows the arena well. I had a talk to Tagora to see how he feels about his team.
I think most of us just want to like have a good time, have fun. It's a home Nats, so like don't have to travel as far. Ideally, I would like to crack top 10, but I'm happy with anywhere like top 50. I don't know. I think there has been quite a few late game jumps, not from green, but from red and blue. It plays very different to Worlds, I will say that. Worlds plays very slow, and in this maze, Worlds does not as fun. A lot more fast paced now.
As we bring you into the top 10 of Nationals this year, we start to see a lot of powerful teams. In 10th place with 210 prediction points, we have Quake. This team is made up of Mad Cans, Carton, Noot Noot, Bones, and Pandas. This is another team that could place anywhere. With a mixed range of skill and experience, I met up with Carton to ask some questions.
I feel like our main goal this year is to be competitive. Like our idea of having fun is to be competitive, be up there in that top 5, try and contend against all the other higher tier teams. But we're also kind of aiming for growth. Like this is a very different sort of team to what I played on last year with Riptide. And having a bunch of players from different Queensland teams come together, we all just kind of want to learn and try new positions in a team that's still going to do well in this competition. If it's not like Storm, which is kind of a direct competition from Queensland this year. It might be like Cobras or even their B team like Kraken. We played a lot of games against them at 3-1. They play a control game really well where they'll come home and defend super hard. Dari is like a beast under any of those bases, and it's just hard to get through there without committing numbers. So yeah, I'd say it would probably be one of those three. If I had to guess it might be Kraken. Fantasy Pandas. 100%. He is a cannon, man. Like he definitely would be a good fantasy pick. We've been trying out taking him out in like a first out position, giving him some more space instead of like shoving him into a last line, and he's been doing really well. So I feel like he would definitely be a really solid fantasy pick. Otherwise, depending on where we play Newt, he'd probably get a really good tag ratio too if he was like in a defensive position.
Coming through in 9th place with a total of 195 prediction points is the one and only 1UP. This year we have Crouchy, Gunner, Guinea and Celery. This may be one of the strongest 1UP lineups we've seen in a while. I had a chat with Crouchy to see how the team is going.
So I did have a little think about this. I reckon Dragons is always one of those teams that we tend to compete with a lot, and then generally recently they've just kept climbing and we drop off. So hopefully this year we can just keep competing throughout the round robin and cascades and stay with them up to that sort of 6th, 7th place. So I reckon it's probably Dragons, Sharks as well, another team that we tend to be quite competitive with. And then I also reckon this year Kraken, the home site team, they're like, I think it's their B team. I reckon they'll be around our sort of teams levels being competitive. I think we'd be pretty happy with like 6th place. I mean, previously we did all right in Hobart, and that was our first year sort of with this lineup. And then Albury, we obviously lost Morrow halfway through due to him having his baby. So like having him back for the full time and playing with a solid 5, hopefully we can push that 6th spot again. I reckon Tagura from New Zealand is likely to have a pretty good showing. Very tall dude, super competitive, wants to prove himself. So I reckon he will be the player of the tournament.
Moving on to 8th place with a total of 183 prediction points, we have the Archangels. This team consists of Sega, Rizzler, Shurikiti, Jellyhawk, Mantis and Karen. It's one of the only teams representing Tasmania this year. They are set out to prove what they can do. They aren't H-Pro babies, but they are a well-formed team. I caught up with Sega to see how they are going.
I always want to say like continue improvement. So the last time we brought Archangels was Albury. We managed to climb to 6, which is my best showing at the Nationals. I would like to meet or beat that showing. So if we could make top 6, that'd be amazing. I think it honestly comes down to, are we going to be reverting to like a dumping meta again, or are we going to see a more defense heavy, like pack pointy, lock it down sort of thing? The 3-door bases are not really being able to play a dedicated last line in the base necessarily. It does make dumping a very tricky sort of meta, because you know, if you've got really good timing, you can lock down the doors and the people on the outside. But if you can't do that, I'm assuming that sneak takes in that little weird sort of pocket on the front of each base is going to be a thing. Then if sneak takes are a thing, you might just find that a lot of teams just bleed early and they've got no other choice but to dump. Like the first person that comes to mind is Stalker for me. Like I reckon, watching him play this year, he's one of those people that like when he's on, he's on. You know.
Landing themselves predicted in 7th place with a total of 158 prediction points is the Sharks. This team consists of Method, Flash, Arbel, Plank and Stinky. As one of the stronger teams in the competition, the pressure will be on for the Sharks this year to see if they can adapt. I had a chat with Stinky to ask a few questions.
First, of course. No, I think we're aiming for finals, so like I guess slightly optimistic but also realistic prediction would be like 3rd. I think we're capable of a lot. We just all need to play well. And like not get sick, touch wood. So if we all play well and like we're a strong team, I think it's definitely on the cards. Maybe it will be Plank, because like in the years gone by he's been very cheap and then very expensive. Like he's always one end of the stick. So I mean, without seeing the prices, I'd just stick to picking attackers. So Plank and Method, they're just going to get more fantasy points, even though they might be more expensive. I think they're still probably better bang for your buck.
Predicted just outside the top 5 this year, with a total of 155 prediction points, we have the Dragons. This year the Dragons consist of Gustus, Shifter, Demos, Lockie, Denuffer and Dragon. The Dragons have been a very consistent team in the last couple of years, really earning their spot in the top tier. However, with a few roster changes this year, can they hold their spot? I caught up with Gus to discuss.
So traditionally we like get 8th. It's been a bit higher than that in the last couple of years, but I think like top 10 I'll be happy with. We definitely have the potential to be like quite a few spots higher than that, and if everything goes really poorly, like maybe 15th. If I just had to pick one, I think it's probably Rampage. If Archangels are like firing all cylinders, Sharks. We've definitely had some like years where we just verse Sharks every game. It depends if the lights in the maze are on, I guess. Yeah, I would expect there to be a reasonable amount of 9-minute dumps.
Top 5 situation. Landing in 5th place in the prediction this year with 136 prediction points is Rampage. This team consists of Spider, myself, Zam, Dart, Beans and Sicarius. Rather than interviewing myself, I pulled in Zam to chat about our team.
We've said this forever, but like over the past 5 years, we've always wanted either top 10 or depending on some years, we've won the top 5. I think realistically, yeah, we should be aiming for at least top 7 again. And if we're on our ball, somewhere around 5th or 6th, probably. I think I would have to probably back either Dart or Sicarius. Only because Dart is so focused on doing well in the side events and has some teams where he could do well in the side events that I think it also bumps his points, and he's got high base average in most of the nationals he's been to. He likes to keep that really, really high. And I think Sicarius as well is definitely a threat in terms of like could be getting pretty high base averages or pretty high even like score ratios in games, in like team format games, because he's not playing any side events, right? But I guess yeah, the no side events is pretty harsh for Sicarius's fantasy points. Hopefully a little bit more lockdown than some comps that I've been to recently with like lowish base counts. So I don't know, I think the early game will be a lot of back and forth based around green. There won't be many points in the bottom end of the maze. It's usually just defenders looking at each other. It's sort of a front line of defense at each door, really. There's like 3 lines of defense, and then there's also 3 doors in the actual base. So they're gonna, it sits out pretty nice. There's this fellow named Zam. I've got 3 names to look out for this year, I reckon. I've got Rizzler from the Hobart Archangels, Tasmania. I haven't seen him in so long, but I've been told a lot about how crazy Max is getting. I'm always keen to watch Tagora, so Kraken out of New Zealand. But he had such an insane year, I reckon he put his name on the map literally at Sunny Coast playing for the tugboats. So I reckon that would be an awesome player to look out for and watch and maybe learn some spots from. And then my third is I have to shout out Mitchell Williams Muffin Nebula out of WA. I think he has gone up and down, even at home sites and stuff, with like his interest and his drive to play and get better. But even playing with him recently at a comp in Perth, WA, I reckon he might have a crazy year where he sort of puts himself on the map a bit and gets some crazy scores. So I'd love to see those three players do really, really well.
Landing in the dreaded 4th place this year with a total of 83 prediction points is the Cobras. Cobras this year consist of Popeyes, Moldy, Ace, Hatman and V-Dark. The top team from New Zealand and one of the most experienced in the maze, there is a lot of expectations on the Cobras this year. I said hi to Moldy to hear his point of view.
You always want to win. Realistically, I don't think anyone on the team believes that it's actually physically possible for us to win. So I would say making grand finals would be like a stretch goal for sure. And knowing the Cobra's curse, like 4th is very much on the cards. I've played pre-nats against some of the Queenslanders, and when they're desperate, they always went for the bounce dump. And we dumped in finals at Worlds a lot, so it really depends on if traditionally strong Australian teams that can like hold a base and lock it down for a long time can do that with a 3-door base. If the bases can be holdable with 3 against a 2-man attack for long enough, then we shouldn't see too many dumps at the top tier with everything being equal, right? At the high end, it really comes down to the bases. If I were betting, I would say dump meta. From NZ, I'm going to say Dari as anchor. I think we're going to see mad tag ratios coming out. I think it's going to surprise some people. And from Australia, I mean, you've always got to bet on Wax. He's just the best. And there's no Husky this year, so he's really got to compensate. And he's captaining. And allegedly, he's calmer than he used to be. And if that's true, Wax will have a good comp.
Alrighty, moving on to the grand final placement. The team predicted in 3rd this year, with 75 prediction points, is Storm. Storm this year consists of Cyrex, Holmes, Firebird, Lilbo, Peregrine and Moss. Most of the Queensland teams have had a big change of roster this year, and Storm definitely has with the addition of Holmes and Lilbo. I caught up with Firebird to have a chat.
Yeah, we're looking for first. Obviously, finals appearance is sort of like our bar, but yeah, we're looking for the W. Yeah, look, like Fusion, Spartans, you guys, Dragons, Cobras. I think the other Queensland teams will like be punching up there as well. You know, they take games off us at home. Like there's no chance that they're that far out of the top end. But I think it'll be like the main focus is going to be Fusion and Spartans. The neutral maze is with the teams is really, really exciting because up here, you know, some people are better in one maze, some people are better in the other. Like Spartans don't like playing Launton March. They do come down, but not as often. And then like Fusion, like it's sort of the other way around where they don't go up to Sunny Coast as often. They do play Launton a lot more. And then like we're sort of kind of in the middle where we go between, but like we definitely spend less time in each maze than the other two. So.
Predicted to finish in 2nd place this year with a total of 39 prediction points, we have Fusion. On Fusion, we have Wax, Pug Salad, Noodle, Grub, Hazmat and Dodge. Another Queensland team that has had a big roster change. With some fresh talent and some big shoes to fill, Fusion has their work cut out for them this year. I called upon Captain Wax for a chat.
I guess we haven't really spoken about it. That's one thing I keep thinking about. We got to probably have a conversation at some point. But in my head, I want to win by a lot and just like really feel comfortable and do well in a lot of side events and stuff. And I want us to like really pop off because I think we can. I think it's a really good maze for how I want to captain. So I guess win, improve as much as possible and do amazingly, I guess. I don't know, I guess we'll see, but it's probably going to be a bit boring, but hopefully there's a chance that dumping could get smashed a little bit by the way the maze works. I'm keen to see what the maze plays like with our lockout there. I think like Noodle's improvement from like, I don't even know when. I definitely saw it like a big jump from Albury to Sunny Coast, but he's popping off. So I think he'll be one of those people. And another Queenslander, Hendo's been playing a lot better. He's just been enjoying tag a lot more. We've been hyping him up as the GOAT, so he's gonna go crazy.
Alrighty, the top of the top, landing at the top of the ladder, also with a total of 39 prediction points, we have the Spartans. On the Spartans this year, we have Potato, Taipan, Stalker, Zeropa, Fuzzy, and Shock. Coming off the back of a Nationals win last year, a lot of teams will be putting the pressure onto the Spartans throughout the comp. With the addition of Shock this year, will they be able to get 2 ZLTAC wins in a row? Of course, I caught up with Taipan to see what he thinks.
We would like to win Nationals again. Back to back. Yeah. We're in Queensland right now. It's kind of weird because like dumps are still happening, but it's a lot more of like that old style. A dump happens, the points are in the dump. At least that's what I felt from my viewpoint on it. It seems to have gone back to that priority of like high bases. So not necessarily dumping, but making sure that like there's 24, 26, 28 bases go down in a game. I feel like if the dump meta is there, then the high base should come in, where it should kind of play with low bases. And yeah, I think the thing is that the team that wins Nationals is going to be the team that defends best. I don't think it's going to be the team that attacks the best like last year. I think it's going to be the team that defends the best. All the points in New Zealand are going to be in the dump. I've got personal bias all over this. So to me, the best player in the country is the one that holds all the trophies. And that's Stalker. Right. At the end of the day, he won solos by himself. He won triples, finaled in doubles, got 4th or something, won teams. Outside of like the top 3 or 4 teams, like there needs to be more respect put on Method's name. And he's a lovely guy and he's a great player. So like I would love to see him do well. I'm sure there is someone down in the New Zealand teams as well that I think could do really well. Dari really impressed me. So I think Dari could have an absolute time in terms of the Nationals. In all honesty, Volley, going back to a GCing position, could actually have a hell of a National. So
there you have it, 24 teams and a whole lot of confidence heading into ZLTAC 2026. Some teams are chasing the trophy, some are just chasing respect. I really look forward to hearing any feedback on this video and seeing all the players in New Zealand very soon. See you later. Oh, and if you're still watching, here's a little bit of gold for you.
I loved it. It was so good.
I literally look homeless right now.
This is text, by the way.
All right, I'll stop eating. Hang on, give me a sec. Oh, come on, cuz.
Time! Nicholas, whack! Do better.
That's crazy.